There were a number of factors that led to the Knicks landing Karl-Anthony Towns. It took the legendary insight of team capologist Brock Aller. It took the magic of team president Leon Rose. But it also took an assist from an unlikely source, Klutch Sports. We're going to break down exactly how Klutch Sports helped the Knicks pull off this blockbuster trade for Karl-Anthony Towns and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Klutch Sports helped the Knicks land Cat in a trade. When you take a look at this Karl-Anthony Towns trade from top to bottom, there are so many facets to it. So many different things that worked in the Knicks' favor in order for them to land Karl-Anthony Towns. And a number of different factors that if they didn't do it first, they would have never been able to afford Cat or have him on this team. We're talking about signing Pacome Dadier in the first round instead of going after Tyler Kolek and still being able to land Kolek in the second round. Signing Precious Achiuwa to a $6 million one-year contract. All of these small things are factors that led to the Knicks landing Towns. But one thing I never expected is Klutch Sports being a factor in the Knicks landing Towns. But according to Steph Bondy with the New York Post, that's exactly what happened. If it wasn't for Klutch, especially in the late hours of this trade, it would have never happened. Let's break down the latest reports from NBA insider Steph Bondy. According to him, in order to nab Karl-Anthony Towns, the Knicks needed the front office's foresight, the creativity of team capologist Brock Aller, and the assistance from agency Klutch Sports in the most complicated and combustible aspect of the mega deals framework. As the Post learned, it involved the rush timelines and layers of negotiations from lawyers to the MSG Sports COO, from New York to Charlotte to Serbia, all while Towns waited in Charleston, South Carolina for clearance to start training camp. Bondy continues here by stating, Duane Washington Jr., a Klutch client, needed a buyout. He was included in the three-team swap with the T-Wolves and the Hornets, among three players the Knicks signed and traded to make the salaries match and confirm the mathematical equation. According to Washington, I got a call at like 2 a.m. in Serbia. I was feeding my newborn son, and my agent called me, said I was signed and traded, and it was crazy, man. Behind the scenes, it was also crazy for a number of different people. One of them, Andy Miller, who is a Klutch Sports top executive who was overseeing the buyout negotiations. I must have not remembered at the time when he was part of the Knicks that he was actually a Klutch client. But nonetheless, the fact that Klutch oversaw these buyout negotiations and they were a key part in the Knicks landing Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm still shocked by it. Not only that, can you imagine being a father of a newborn in a new country in Serbia, and you are just sitting there feeding your baby, 2 a.m., your agent calls you and tells you, oh yeah, by the way, you were just signed and traded by the Knicks to another team. The life you thought you left behind, it's calling you right back again. Now, even though he got paid and he's receiving a lot of money for doing this, it's still something to relocate your life once and do it all over again. But that's not the only area where Klutch came up big for the Knicks. They also helped the Knicks in another area here. According to Steph Bondy, he states, Washington Jr. needed to get out of his partisan deal, but neither the Knicks nor the Hornets offered money toward a buyout, leaving it up to Klutch to negotiate with only Washington Jr.'s salary as leverage. For the partisan team he was joining, there was no incentive for them to help facilitate the Towns trade. The club just started its EuroLeague campaign and needed Washington Jr., a borderline NBA-level talent, to beat the likes of Baskonia and Real Madrid. If the trade blew up at that point, it was because Klutch, an agency with a documented rocky history with the Knicks, and partisan couldn't agree on a number. A source said Jamal Lazine, the COO of MSG Sports, was instrumental in working with Klutch toward a faster resolution as the Knicks pushed to get Towns on the practice court. I don't know about you guys, but that's a major update The fact that the Knicks and the Hornets didn't do anything to help with that buyout negotiation, and it was only up to Klutch Sports, means a lot. As Bondi mentioned, if the deal didn't go through in terms of a buyout, that's because Klutch and the partisan team that Duane Washington Jr. was joining did not come to terms on a buyout. The fact that they were assisted by MSG as well, too, is a good part of this because it tells you the Knicks and Klutch are happy to work together to get business done. That means any issues they had in the past. And again, it's well documented that they had a very rough history in the past. But after Leon Rose and Rich Paul met a couple of months ago and they cleared the air and there's no issues anymore, not only are they happy to work together, they're happy to help the Knicks make a deal like this to land Karl-Anthony Towns. I know on the surface, it doesn't look like a lot. Oh, they only helped the Knicks move Duane Washington Jr. They only helped in the buyout. Not really mattering that much. I'm sure the Knicks could have got it taken care of in a number of different ways. Honestly, the Knicks couldn't have gotten it taken care of in that many different ways because we're limited at this point in time. We don't have the money. We don't have salary like that. That's really why the Knicks couldn't contribute anything to the buyout negotiations. That's why they left it in large part to Klutch Sports to handle. The Hornets did the exact same thing. They washed their hands of it. They said, listen, I'm already helping you with this trade as being that third team. I'm not adding any money to this deal. And if Klutch dropped the ball, Towns would not be a Knick right now. The money had to add up. The trade had to go through. The sign-in trade was needed. He was a Klutch client. It was 2 a.m. We needed to get it done. We needed to get the money working. We needed to get Towns on the practice court facility. And all of these things mattered. And the only way it got done was from an assist from Klutch Sports. I think this speaks volumes, not only of the Knicks' relationship right now with Klutch Sports, but also moving forward, what the Knicks are going to do for Klutch. Because I think the fact that Klutch helped the Knicks here land Karl-Anthony Towns, at some point in the future, Klutch is going to need some type of favor, some assistance in some form or fashion. And at that point, they're going to call the Knicks. And the Knicks are going to have to help them because they're going to remember they got some assistance here. Towns is not a Knick without this move happening. But that's not the only reason. Let's go back to Pacome Dadier. The Knicks drafting him in the first round. Not only did they do that, but they also signed him to a deal that was a lot less than the normal rookie scale contract. Now, the reason they did that is because they needed to make sure their cap was in good order to make sure all the moves they were about to make, they could afford. Brock Aller, that's somebody you have to thank for that. Either way, though, the Knicks made all the right moves, all the right cap moves, all the right signings. If any one of these single events didn't occur, Towns would not be a Knick right now. Let's get that straight. These things needed to happen in this way, in this order, and the Knicks had to pull off each and every one step by step by step. It took magic. It took a little bit of luck and clearly an assist from the unlikeliest of sources in Klutch Sports. Appreciate the assist. Thank you, Rich Paul. I'm sure in the future, we're going to have your back as well, too. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following reports indicating that the only reason the Knicks landed Karl-Anthony Towns is because Duane Washington Jr., a Klutch client, he needed a buyout, and one of the main factors in helping getting that buyout was Klutch Sports. If that doesn't happen, Towns is not a Knick right now. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans. Peace.